Okay, we're going to welcome you to another Pneuma of Now podcast with Richard Blankenship. I'm working on charge, and I'm working on manifestation. I'm working on prosperity. I'm working on abundant mindset. I'm working on awareness. We're speaking to the heart and the breath. So sometimes I start these things on a whim just to get over my own internal struggle. And I had an idea I hadn't thought of yet, and I don't know why. So I'm going to just start reading out of Content Core's document that we have available for free. A lot of it is a shared work, a collaborative effort between Pen Pal of mine in the UK. So this is, and it also introduces other concepts from other people, and it's not strictly mine. It's kind of one of those things that I don't feel like I can own. Now I have a couple of quotes in there, and I have my own little terminologies and sentence structure, and I kind of formatted it. So it's more of you can consider this a series of entries as opposed to chapters. It might kind of start out like chapters and then move on to series of entries. It's interesting. I think the document's 60 something pages long. So this is just going to be Content Core's Discovery Academy and FutureNows, advanced consciousness raising practices. So I have a quote that I wrote many years ago, probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't know if I have a timestamp on it, but it's never left. And you may have heard it before. But somewhere in the sacred silence, this soul seeks to sojourn to splendid soundscapes. Basking in the shifting sands, my solitude stands with all of you in resplendent light. So I came up with that when I was participating with an Amplifield app online. It's kind of a group meditation space where you could just set an intention and spend some time listening to some music or some speakers kind of guide you into a better mental frame of mind. It's a really good idea. It was an idea that a good buddy of mine, I came to become friends with this gentleman who kind of started it because it was an idea that I basically had myself. I couldn't articulate. I couldn't actualize. I wasn't able to bring the thought and the feeling of that into the world, whereas this person did. And when I saw it, I was like, God, that's beautiful, beautiful in its simplicity. So I went on one day and I set an intention for my day. And I did that for about a month or two, just to kind of get myself out of a rut. You get to connect with people, you get a sense of belonging, you listen to some nice tunes, you get real centered, you start breathing consciously. And you do that enough times and you'll see a shift in your energy in your life. Okay, I'm going to set the recorder down and I'm going to see if we can get a good volume while I'm relaxed here. So this is a document I've read many, many times. So I'm going to hopefully actually do a pretty good job here. Again, this document is free. It's something I don't really feel like it's mine. I use a lot of quotes. So we start with a Napoleon Hill quote. The subconscious mind makes no distinction between constructive and destructive thought impulses. It works with the material we feed it through our thought impulses. The subconscious mind will translate into reality a thought driven by fear just as readily as it will translate into reality a thought driven by courage or faith. And then here's a quote from Trine. We're not talking reductive analysis, but rather an expansive synthesis, which is a different process, one which requires us to expand the doors of perception beyond the limited consciousness, which is called normal, into unrestricted visioning. And then here's a quote from me. FutureNows is my co-creative space. a place to react to the rarefication of pressure differentials in the air between. There's solace rather than solitude here. There's little solitude behind the fray. This space place is all about teamwork and reactivity to what is. And then here's a collaborative quote by David Cowles and myself. We must honor our breathing hours in any capacity possible and never relinquish the hope that those hours may have meaning beyond the mere relentless march toward death and annihilation. And then this is David's quote, David Cowles or Coles. It's Cowles. He's a good writer friend of mine. I haven't touched base with him in a few years, just very, very sporadically and quick. His quote is, "What gives us the courage to hope? The realization that the standard model of ontology with its timeline, entropy, et al., it is not only anathema to all meaning, but is also incomparable with being itself, incompatible with being itself. And we're pretty sure that we are, or at least that something is. So we feel comfortable moving past the nihilism inherent in much contemporary thinking. But now comes the challenge. If not this, what?" Okay, and then I have a Tom Montauk quote. It goes, "I found that going against heart intuition and then doing something out of obligation, despite screaming on the inside, that can have damaging effects on one's spirit or spiritual connection, similar to throwing a car in reverse while going forward can damage the transmission." An unknown quote is, "If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice." And then I'm going to butcher this guy's name. It's Songaid Makwa. "Destroy negative thoughts when they first appear. This is when they are the weakest." And then a final unknown quote before I get into the reading. "If we don't feel grateful for what we have, what makes us think we'd be happy with more?" Okay, so the backdrop of beginnings and continuations. Oh man, gonna have to shut my dog up. You know, this is a one take situation, so life happens and we just roll with it. Slices of life. Come here, buddy. All right, the Academy is really two ideas coming into emergence. The brainchild of Trine, the man behind the curtain, has been the main impetus to kickstart this arising. I, Richard, have been led to move forward and toward making this style of conversation more readily available to a larger group of souls. FutureNows, in its simplest terms, has its aim to realize and acknowledge latent potentials. The formatting will most assuredly challenge the first-time onlooker, but we encourage you to catch the wave and see where it takes you. We're looking to create content, cores, advanced consciousness-raising practices and systems to ensure resilience and continuity, along with sustainability of the systemic fields and participant capacitances. This is very much a long-term process of longevity, not here today, gone tomorrow, rather real and really sustainable. The Discovery Academy is integral to itself, a unity. However, though it too stands alone in singularity as a self, it's also in relation to other systems compatible. So through a singularity, it's also a multiplex, systems within systems, and spirally dynamic to all complementary subsystems. Hence, in free association, to all complementary subsystems. Hence, literally, a powerhouse of potencies and potentials. The Discovery Academy is also an accessible advanced education in consciousness, a self-regulating, self-ordering, flexible generator, heart-to-heart narrative which self-governs bioorganically. Many of us are somewhat behind, and in other ways, we are very much ahead. And in this process of transforming, which includes upping the potencies of and energy, is already bringing results in the form of increased interest. We will be seeding to select people starting now, providing information that seeks to enable you with the means to decide about participations. For now, there's building the potential field to support the Discovery Academy. All right, so that's pretty good little introduction. Now I have a little satire part here, and it's kind of off the cuff. I don't really mean everything I'm saying here, so you got to put this in its perspective, I guess. It's just kind of maybe is a good example of some of the creative writing that I've done over the years, and it's kind of weird. So participation guidelines. This need not be difficult, and we need not even agree. This is a place of diversity, but with that in mind, a place to lift each other up rather than bring others down. Civil and insightful mental gymnastics is always welcome, and we should feel free to speak our own truths. Please do so with an eye turned towards a loftier mindset that creates rather than destroys. Off-topic posts would include things on cooking, boating, fornicating, and stamp collecting. I'm joking, of course. All topics are fair game here. Everything else is pretty much fair game until otherwise noted. If someone here gets out of line, I will not hesitate to ignore you, thus allowing you to flourish within your own breed of insight, so long as others can tolerate it being present. Only upon requests from others will I even begin to consider your removal or blockage from the group. That's a joke also. I might ask you to refrain from such and such activity from time to time, but you'll have plenty of room to express yourself so long as it revolves around uplifting the human spirit and working to disseminate something of overt value to the proceedings at hand. Oh, and another thing that will not be tolerated here. We must refrain from pontificating because we don't want none of that here. The definition of pontificate is to express one's opinions in a way considered annoyingly pompous and dogmatic. Okay, I think we're good. Until further notice, fire away. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Discovery Academy. The Discovery Academy is a place which is everywhere and nowhere all at once. This place exists wherever people communicate to better theirs and others via little acts of kindness to improve via metagenesis to cause arisings in everyone which bring forth character, value, and integrity. We take the long view of those short moments we call a lifetime. Discovery reveals wisdom which cultures the fullest living potentials which abide in generosity. Generosity cultures and develops potentials and flowers as exceptional capacities and capabilities which fruit in the fullness of time to bring forth rooted practices which, when tended, grow spontaneously into future nows. Future now is a spontaneous state of being. It is like having your own special tour guide in unfamiliar territory. Future now is also a living lab and a generator for the emergence of the new human, this time calling to everyone. The Discovery Academy forms an opportunity, one of many, to discover through what you know through outreach and expressing what you know with gift mentality. Your offering becomes an embodied physical expression of your intention to become beyond what you already are. Discovery Academy, therefore, is a pathway toward what you don't know, you know, and what you know is unknown to you. Hence, strengthening through every expression of being the resilient determination which is the expression of life, to evolve and exceed current limitations. Do not be fooled. This is not an easy task, though it may appear so. It requires commitments to honoring the utmost in the source of all beings, whatever their outer form. There are years of dedicated practice behind and before each and individual endeavor. There are transformational opportunities. Progression is entirely a matter for you and your own urgencies. And as you build trust in the process, you will find revelations and discoveries, which are a direct result of your efforts. As you are, thus you are known. Welcome to the journey of a lifetime and the multiplicities of destiny. FutureNows is a source mandala, a program which of intention and design awakens dormant potentials, which will enable you in every material life. FutureNows is also generator catalyst crucible. Each member participant knows exactly their role and plays it in a generous way. There's a synthesis of generosity at play. There's vitality, resilience, and other feature strengths which depend on circumstances, or the do from an external perspective. What if? What if we shift to internals entirely? Internal process is generally supposed to be inaccessible unless a person is opened up, x-rayed, or scanned by instruments. Let's suppose there are other ways. The way of sensitivity practices. Another is insight or internal knowing that is essential for wisdom paths, internal compasses. Compassion as joy. The Discovery Academy is now very much in the flow and steady. We've still got further to go with personal recoveries to regain fully to full strength after some serious knockbacks, which really shouldn't have happened, but did, to our very marked distress. We're not the ones to settle for that. We take the long view of the short moments we call a lifetime. The Discovery Academy is a new generation of and for the advanced future now in emergence. It's fresh and vital and firmly rooted. It's rooted in character, value, and integrity. It is a response and an opportunity to realize and reveal honored truths which are naturalized, intercultural, and in the moment now. And beyond any masculine feminine divides, we embrace the universal and honor all being. The Discovery Academy is, and is a place of no place. Its occurrences happen whenever and wherever. There is dedicated effort to realize the utmost potential. It is not an exclusivity institute, rather a metastation of unity, thus inclusive. However, the hardest part is to join. Let the adventure and journey begin, that it may continue to flourish. Come when you are ready to become a servant to FutureNows. There's work to do on building spiritual congruence through metacongruity and through absorption and familiarization rather than by rote reading and learning alone. We intend to build bridges. Be assured, we will find threads. These concepts are not new to the world, but they are new in our time. And the application to physics and the rest has never been done quite like this before. Ancient wisdom needs to meet modern science, no question about it. Education should start with basic universals and internal structural physics. It may take a few more years before there is more of a curriculum to offer students of the work, but you can vastly accelerate capabilities using the quantum fields directly, making the cloud look like Noah's Ark. The writings that we will be sharing have come from a great deal of interior work. I found it useful to revisit these works over and over again. The difficulty we face, especially for me, is to keep the focus despite the abundance of materials that have been created over the years. These early foundational posts sum it up mostly, but through the unpacking of these ideas, deeper insights are sure to follow. The organization of data is another obstacle we face, and while sifting through the archives, there are gems that continue to bowl me over with excitement. I can't keep this stuff to myself, so it's time to propagate the conversation out in such a manner that accomplishes three primary objectives at this stage. One, to condense the work into bite-sized chunks with the aim to inspire forward progress, encourage others to engage in their own unique contributions, thus adding to the material already available, spiritualize the effort, and to honor the contributions of others to the field at large. The challenges we face: one, maintain a level of demonstration as our numbers expand. Two, enable individual members to experience manifestation and transformation themselves for their own growth and deepening of consciousness. Three, maintain a synergetic state in which the individual wholeness and fulfillment and the group wholeness and fulfillment each contribute to and support the other. Okay, that's the introduction, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you like that added energy. I'm really going for it. I'm learning this control over the voice. I'm learning to emote. Getting more comfortable being uncomfortable. So this message goes out to two special brothers, and I'll keep you anonymous for now, but we can call one of them Mr. E, and we'll call the other one we won't call the other one anything. I love you guys. This also goes out to my sisters and my brothers from another and anybody listening, because we're sharing this stuff. I'm getting it out there. I don't know what it might do for the world or for myself, but there will be changes propagated into the field as a result of these efforts. And I encourage others to do the same with your own gifts, strengths, talents, insights, wisdoms. Let's get this stuff out there. Get your stuff out there. I don't know how much more time we're going to have to push electrons around without being censored. So if you want to control the trajectory of your electrons, let's get it started. All right. Peace profound in the pneuma of now. Uh-oh, I better make sure we don't get too much weirdness happening on accident. Sometimes the next file will play. Just quit iTunes here. That's pretty good, huh? I thought that was pretty good. I think that was about 25 minutes or something. So yeah, I think we're gonna shut her down. I'll get you the artist name. I don't have her name. She's wonderful. I mean, this is like some of the most beautiful stuff I've seen in a while. So I'll get you her name. And I'm signing off for now. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just trying stuff. I'm having a good time. Thanks for being here. And there's plenty more coming. So yeah, peace profound in the pneuma of now.